Join us for a rare and personal interview with the Gibb brothers, filmed in 1993 during the release of their album, Size Isn't Everything. They speak openly about music, family, their late brother Andy Gibb, and reflect on their One for All tour from 1989.
Barry, Robin og Maurice. For 30 år siden så var det de 3 hengslete tenåringer i Australia som nettopp hadde kommet med sin første single. I dag har de solgt 150 millioner plater. Og i musikkhistorien så er det bare Elvis, der Michael Jackson, Paul McCartney og The Beatles som har hatt flere førsteplasser. Og hvis de nå klarer en eneste førsteplass til, så skriver de musikkhistorie. For ingen annen gruppe har klart å ha 4 førsteplasser på 4 tiår på rad. Og dette er brødrene Gibb. Og i hundretusener av nordmenns platehyller så lyder de navnet The Bee Gees. Hello.
Hi, Joe. Hi.
We have just seen Paying the Price of Love. And tell me about all the effects. It was more like a movie for me.
We wanted something this time that was going to be a little more groundbreaking. We'd never really been in the video arena. We'd never really competed at that level, usually just records. And this time around we wanted to do something that was visually interesting as well.
Eye candy.
And expensive?
Yeah. Expensive indeed,
yes.
Yeah.
The title Paying the Price of Love.
Yeah.
But after being in the pop business now for 30 years, what is paying the price of success?
We paid.
I think, in other words,
there is a certain price you pay, you sacrifice, although, I mean, there are certain sacrifices that other people would interpret as being sacrifices that we wouldn't. There's a certain personal side of your life that's sacrificed. It's, my first marriage was probably ruined by it, but I had 2 great kids from it, so that was good. There's downsides to all long careers. We lost our brother Andy 5 years ago, 30 years old. It's a price more so that he really paid because of the conflicts that he had in his life, but also it's a price we paid because it was part and parcel of our life too. And we lost our father last year, probably more due to the fact of what happened to Andy 5 years earlier. So it's all connected. There are ups and downs in everybody's lives, and I suppose when you have a career like ours, you can have more than...
There's a fee that comes with it.
There's a fee.
But in one or another way, you aren't in the gossip columns.
I don't think we're the kind of group that people would want to know too many spicy things about. I think we're sort of on the fringe of that, but I know what you mean by saying that, that we are public domain, and people will tend to write about you when you do things, just normal things.
I think it's also because of what we do. I mean, because of the business we're in, it goes with the territory. No matter what you do, you can always do something really good, but people like to read bad stuff. They don't like to read good stuff about you. They always like to read the bad, so that sells more papers. So you will make the so-called tabloids, or in America it's called the Inquirer. There's these kind of papers that are out there, and they sell more than any other newspaper because it's pure, made-up gossip. A lot of it's totally untrue, but people like to read it, you know, just for that moment while they're reading it, try to believe it. But it's not necessarily true, so it comes with the territory.
I don't think you see much of us in gossip columns anyway. We're not that type of act, you know. There's no scandals or anything you would speak of that exists in our lives privately.
No, I have to do that. No. Okay, if you insist. Thank you. It's only when
Children and family values are the most important thing for you now. Is that the reason why we've chosen a subject like the children of Bosnia and sing for them and help them and raise money?
Well, we dedicated our song Blue Island. We wrote that for the children of Yugoslavia because we'd heard the stories about the spiritualists who, upon contacting the other side, heard it described as a blue island. And we wanted to write a song about the fact that heaven might indeed be a blue island. And it's our message to the children of Yugoslavia, or former Yugoslavia, that at the end of everything else, even if worse comes to worse, we all meet together on a blue island at some time. And it's a happy thought and a positive thought. And at some point we'd like to do a concert for the children of Yugoslavia.
It's an optimistic song. It's a song about optimism.
Yeah, but the question today is, how do you help the children of Yugoslavia? Because you can't get in there to help them. There should be some system set up where we can get all the children out. Let people fight, but get the children out of there first.
At least put them someplace safe so they'll be okay until it's all over with. You know, but you see, all we can do is really make people aware of it. We can't do anything physically.
It's not a fact of raising money. I think money, that's an old adage about...
Well, you can feed and clothe the ones that have escaped.
Well, at least...
But you can't get in there.
And if, to help the people already in there, getting money in there is worthless. It just doesn't mean it. You never really know if it's where it's going anyway.
Do you remember July of '67 in Oslo?
Well. Yes.
Do you remember Oslo?
The summer of
Oslo, yeah.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. We were up on a mountain at a recording at a studio doing a television show.
And you performed Close Another Door.
Oh, we also did Massachusetts, I think, with a fishnet background, like a fishing boat, like fishnet.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Close another door, so won't you run away?
But you haven't been in Norway since. That's 26
we
years.
were supposed to go on the last tour, but unfortunately the promoter of the promotion that was going on in Scandinavian countries particularly wasn't very good. So the next time we tour, we're definitely...
But I heard it was just simply a matter that we weren't selling tickets, and that happens, you know. It wasn't.
Well, that's what I meant by the promotion. I mean,
yeah, but I think it might be the same promoter this time around.
No, I mean, no. I don't know. The promotion was there, wasn't there for us to come.
But we should be definitely going.
Had it been handled properly, it might have been better. But we're coming this time no matter what. So you know, we're coming to play to all five.
Ticket sales or no ticket sales, we're going.
Big shout out to our sponsor DigiArty and their amazing software, Video Proc Converter. If you've ever wanted to restore and improve your old family videos or home movies, this is the perfect tool. With Video Proc Converter, you can easily enhance, convert, and bring new life to your precious memories in HD. Great for anyone wanting to preserve their personal history. So we have a special offer for our viewers. Get 60% off Video Proc Converter by clicking the link in the description.
Do you consider Melbourne or Australia as your home audience, or is that in Britain or in the States?
We're British, first off, but we were brought up in Australia, so it's a second home to us, and we do have an affinity with the Australian audiences. A lot of our early years performing was all done in Australia, so a lot of our groundwork, learning about our craft, was done in Australia. But we've also spent many years in America, so we're sort of multicultural. We're not based in any particular area, but we're British born, and damn it, British will stay.
It's very hard. I mean, we like Australia, but we don't. It's a very long way to go, and we don't get down there too much.
Flight time.
22 hours.
Very long.
We're going to see, Bee Gees Goes Unplugged in the medley.
Right.
And Maurice, would you describe your brothers during work time on stage?
On stage, actually, it's once again we have a lot of fun. We don't go out seriously. We all have a great eye contact on stage. We all know what's going on. Robin can be a bit moody, which is Rob, a bit pensive, but it's thoughtful, yeah. And we're also mad perfectionists. You know, it's like on stage, if the balance isn't right and the monitors and things like that, it's like, it gets a little awkward. But other than that, I think going on stage, as in making records, as in writing the songs, we all have the same kind of chemistry that mixes. So on stage, it's the same thing. The only difference is you're seeing the people who put you up there, which is, it's a great way of saying thank you. And that's a wonderful experience as well. So the three of us together all have the same kind of thoughts. I do notice sometimes when Barry used to have terrible back pain on stage, and he covered it really well, but I could see an eye contact where he'd go, God, I'm in agony. but it still carried on with the show. But now, you know, he's taking care of that
He just
now.
turns his back on the audience and drops his trowel.
It's a relief. It's a relief.
What I'm saying is I noticed that his dedication is not to let the show down because of the pain he was going through.
We carry him up in a bucket at the end of the show. I think a lot of times that the artist can dictate what the people want, and certain respect radio does as well. I think to some degree that the public are actually starved of the kind of things they really want and not given what they want. Sometimes artists have to push forward and give and show and come up with the actual product that people are actually demanding.
Like movies are being force-fed to people now, and music is force-fed. So the audience doesn't really have a choice about what they hear, what they see as a movie, or what they listen to as music. So we're not on that bandwagon. That we're just making this album is just for us. We're making this album out of fun, out of what we like.
We're getting a very good reaction to the album by radio and the media. But what we feel today is that a lot of people, and the reason we're probably getting a great reaction from radio, especially the initial reaction to radio in the UK, has been fantastic. And I think one of the reasons the good reaction is there is because a lot of the sales and singles in albums right now are very, very low indeed. And I think this demonstrates that people are tired of buying the staple diet of all rap and heavy metal. That's fine. I like heavy metal and I like rap, but it's too one-dimensional. You can't just expect the kids and the public just to want one kind of music all the time. And pop music was never that way. Popular music was never that way. It was always a cauldron of different cultures into one. That was the whole foundations of popular music, and I think people are missing that.
You used to sing "Wish You Were Here" in memory of your deceased brother Andy. And in this concert you have dedicated "How Deep Is Your Love" to him. Why is it change of tune?
Well, on the last concert,
we couldn't sing "Wish You Were Here" live. It was very hard to sing.
We could.
No, finish. I don't mean that we couldn't, you know, sing it properly. It was just very emotional to sing, and it was upsetting. How Deep Is Your Love wasn't so, because "Wish You Were Here" was written for Andy. So when we sang it on stage a couple of times, it was really hard to sing it because of the emotions involved. And it sort of upset us a lot for the rest of the show, if you like. But it was just sort of upsetting to sing it. And it was even hard to do the vocals on the record, on the actual track itself, because it took us a while before we actually started singing it, because of the emotions. And How Deep Is Your Love was not especially written for Andy, but it meant that his love was very important to us. So that's why we dedicated that song, because it was a lot easier to sing. Because when we were singing "Wish You Were Here," all we could think about was that terrible day when we found out that Andy had passed away.
Andy Gibb, den yngste av de 4 brødrene i The Bee Gees, død, 30 år gammel. Dødsårsaken ukjent, men Andy Gibb ble mandag lagt inn på sykehus med sterke magesmerter. The Bee Gees har vært populær i en årrekke og sang blant annet melodiene i filmen Saturday Night Fever.
Andy was to make one more album himself, and we were to make one more album, and then we were to join forces. But it never came to be because of what happened, so it's a regret. It's one of our regrets. And there are numerous regrets, you know, the things you always want to say to somebody and you don't say, and now we wish we'd said. So, you know, you have to go through all those things too: guilt, anger. You blame yourself, you blame show business, you blame Hollywood for what happened to Andy. But then again, you have to come to terms with the fact that we all run our lives individually the way we see fit. And Andy had a lot of problems. And it's just the way things go, and maybe it was meant to be.
Can you teach me to sing falsetto?
Stand up,
right now?
Stand up, drop your trousers.
Anyone stand up? Let's start. Let's jump into the deep end.
Yes.
Yeah? Do you have to stand up? No. But where do they start? In the stomach?
Under your belt.
Below your belt.
Actually, it started with Nights on Broadway with
Yes.
Maurice Mardin, who was producing the main course album. And he wanted to know if someone could scream at the end and do some ad-libs. Barry said, "I'll go and do it." And then he said, "Can you do it in falsetto?" And Barry said, "Well, I'll have a go." And he did. And the next song we did, because it sounded good, he wanted to sing the lead, which was Fanny Be Tender. He said, maybe I'll sing the lead in falsetto.
Yeah.
But it was something that really wasn't new to us because of the stylistics, the Delphonics, all those people were out at the time. They were doing the falsettos long before we did. But it was just something that we tried something new again, and we loved R&B music. We loved the black R&B music.
We actually like Frankie Valli a lot too.
Yeah.
And those early Four Seasons records were great.
So because we discovered the falsetto, we could do those R&B songs with a lot more emotion.
Right.
Yeah. And the falsetto lead, we said, wow, it's a bit stylistic, but it's great.
But now on your brand new LP, you have changed the title from your old You Should Be Dancing to Decadence.
That's right.
Do you think that is a way of telling that disco is superficial and a little bit decadent?
Well, it was decadent when it first came out. But it was the only we would only have done this with this song, because it was the only obvious dance record we ever wrote.
First of all, it's done for fun, and secondly, it's a remake, not a remix, with
all the
new
vocals are all
vocals.
new. Yeah.
So people just have to take it for what it is. We was just it was as an extra track that we wanted to have fun with, and not really a designed sales tool for the album. And it's not to be taken seriously.
No,
it's
it's
to
just
have fun with.
Yeah. We had a lot of requests for people who wanted to do it besides ourselves. They wanted to remix the original. They wanted to do different things like that. And it was basically our engineer and our programmer Tim Moore and Femi, who had heard dancing in the clubs on days off when we weren't recording. They decided to do an updated version of it and played it to us, and it was so good. Yeah. We thought it was a lot of fun.
But it's there. It's great. It's we enjoyed it, and it's nice to hear a different version of something after the event.
This is your 30th album.
Yes, indeed.
And you have different styles. Aren't you ever afraid of that people should miss the unique Bee Gee sound? Maurice?
Well, we've done the unique. When we start singing, it's our sound. When we start writing songs, it's our songs. It's our music.
I mean, when you hear this album, I don't think you think it's anyone else but the Bee Gees.
And no matter what styles it is.
No matter what the style is, I think.
This album is very much getting back to our roots. It's much of the style of the earlier Bee Gees than the last two albums. So
can I just say that I think this album's for fun?
You can indeed.
I think this album's for fun.
Yeah.
It's not. It's 30 albums down the line, and it's a time in our lives where we think we ought to be having fun, and we just chose the kind of music this time that we like, the kind of songs that we like, the different influences of different artists. For instance, Kiss of Life is probably influenced by the Beach Boys to some extent with the harmonies, and perhaps Phil Collins, people like that.
With a slightly harder edge.
With a slightly harder edge, but nevertheless, there are certain musical influences from other artists that exist on this album. It's us just having fun this time, not taking ourselves quite so seriously. And I think, once again, that reflects the title, Sizes and Everything. It really means two things. It means that
stretching ourselves is one, and also in the actual.
Don't judge a book by its cover.
That's it.
Don't judge us based on disco or what music might have been called 20 years ago. Just judge us on listen to the music itself, and try not to be taken in by the media's perception of what we are, of what they think we are.
I also like the idea of the sizes and everything, meaning our image and how you perceive us is not necessarily so. And when you listen to the album, then you make the judgment.
Also, size is everything.
Sign up to our mailing list at www.mimre-tv.com for bonus content and exclusive clips.